It is Monday morning, and it's time to get your week off to a great start. I'm glad you're here. But this morning, I want to start off with a serious question, and this is it. When was the last time you were angry? And I mean, seriously pissed off. Lately, it doesn't seem as though everybody is pissed off at a certain level to some degree. Anger is a very strong, destructive emotion, and frankly, it's usually created by selfishness and is directed at other people. But I have to ask you, what the heck good is it? Now, I've thought back to the times that I've made decisions or reacted during fits of anger, and without exception, not one good thing, not one, came out of those actions. In fact, the outcomes were negative in every single case. I'm betting you can probably relate. Anger's been around since the beginning of time, and as you can imagine, it's a topic that has been discussed at length in the Owner's Manual of Life. And one great example would be Proverbs 29:11, which makes it pretty clear. Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end. Well, I don't know about you, but I would rather be wise than a fool. So what steps can you take to manage those times of anger? Well, I'd suggest first identifying the source of that anger. And we're all triggered by things, sometimes multiple things. But knowing and acknowledging those triggers can help you to be proactive in managing that anger. By turning down the heat early, you avoid the raging inferno later, don't you? Another step, of course, would be to become more consistent in your faith walk and growing your faith walk. And that's exactly what I've done, and I can tell you it makes all the difference in the world. Now, I also don't mind sharing with you that I have a pretty bad temper. But the good news is I have a very long fuse. But when that fuse runs out and it ignites, you better just stand by because it's not pretty and I'm kind of ashamed of it. But 20 years ago, I made the decision to become intentional in growing my faith. And I can tell you it's made all the difference in the world. And I now know where to turn when I start getting triggered. And that's the Lord God and His Word. So what's the takeaway for today? Well, I'm not going to deny for a second that there isn't a lot to be angry about in the world today. I mean, the list is very long. But if I've learned anything, it's this. Nothing, and I mean nothing good happens when it comes from a place of anger. Every decision or reaction you make in anger will be bad and won't serve to help or change whatever it is you're angry about. So if you're someone driven by anger, I have to ask you, aren't you tired of being angry? This week, here's what I'd like you to try and do. Whenever you feel yourself drifting towards a place of anger, I'd like you to just stop. Take a deep breath and lift whatever the source of that anger is up to the Lord and ask Him for His will to be done and to give you the peace that passes all understanding. And the week after that, and the week after that, keep at it. Soon enough, you're going to find that anger no longer has control over you, and you'll be better able to receive the peace that passes all understanding. And finally, real quick, I've added 4 verses down below in the description that I use when I start to feel myself getting sideways with anger. So you may want to go check them out yourself. All right, that's a wrap. And until next week, I'd like you to stay strong, keep the faith, and we'll see you then.